So, Arknights has an alter problem, or at least in my opinion, has a limited alter problem. So for the most part, I would view any welfare or 5-star alter as being pretty much perfect or completely acceptable as an alter. However, based on my time in the community, I have learned that many people have a great disdain for limited 6-star alters. And while personally I don't think they're that big of an issue, I get where people are coming from. And I do think there's a better way to have alternate units. And the worst part is it currently exists in game and Hippogriff just aren't using it. And to not keep you in suspense, the feature I am of course talking about is the class change. Now, before we get into that, I'm just going to throw up on the screen my thoughts on the current 6-star limited units and whether I think they're good or bad alters. Now, if you want, I'll break it down further in a separate video, but for the purposes of keeping it brief, I'm just going to say, in my mind, Null alter is the only 6-star limited alter that is acceptable from both a gameplay and lore perspective, as based on the story of Null, it makes perfect sense that she would get an alter, and the event that she was introduced in lends itself perfectly to her alter. And as you can tell, there's a lot of alters I think are rather bad or just plain cash grabs to an alter. But instead of focusing on the negative, I want to focus on how they could improve this system, and they are currently doing it as of the 4th anniversary. If you are unaware, as part of the 4th anniversary, we got Silence Alter, and she's in a rather niche subclass, which immediately makes Silence Alter more unique among the alters due to her taking up this niche role. But that's not the only thing that makes her great. She's also the welfare unit. So in the future, if the 6-star alter is the welfare unit, I don't think anyone will be complaining. The limited unit slot is extremely valuable, and I would say most people view that slot as the most important units in the game, not necessarily because they're broken, which a lot of them are, but because they are, by their very nature, extremely rare. And if you are wasting these precious slots on alter operators, it takes away from a very unique limited operator, or introducing a new limited character that, by being limited, could drive additional attention towards them. And again, 4th anniversary does this pretty well by having an extremely anticipated operator, Mulesies, as the limited 6-star. But we're gonna move past that, as that's one of the solutions to fixing the alter problem, and look at the class change system. Currently, only one unit in the game has been given this system, and that is of course our beloved rabbit Amiya. And I don't want to take anything away from Amiya, but I think we should spread that love to some of the other units. Now, potentially certain characters like Siege and /or Shining could get one as part of the current story, as both of them are playing a rather involved role and are two characters that people would predict would get an alter. So as part of chapter 13, instead of giving a Siege or Shining alter, you could give a Siege alter and then give a Shining class change, which would make both sides happy, or at least make the side that hates 6-star alters happy that they are addressing that issue with other systems. And of course, the class change system would be extremely free to play friendly. As long as you have that unit, you can gain access to this character in their alternative form. And I understand that a class change system isn't necessarily the most profitable venture. It is, by its nature, giving an existing unit more options. But I personally think if they gave out class change to specific units, it would build a lot of goodwill in the community, as it would show that they're not locking these popular characters, altos, behind a paywall, which at the end of the day, the gotcha is. In addition to simply giving the class change as an important storytelling device, it could also be used to improve underwhelming characters. It could be even used in a lesser variant to simply change the subtype of the unit. So, for example, instead of remaining a Dreadnought Guard, Null Alter could become an Arts Guard, which, of course, I don't necessarily think Null Alter needs it, but it could be used as a way of varying the gameplay. So, say, Frostleaf, who is extremely underpowered and has been completely replaced by a 6-star that is not yet on global, a class change or even a subclass change could really make her a more relevant character. And of course, if it was a 4-star getting this, it would be even more free-to-play friendly. And that's kind of my thoughts on the alter problem. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a game-ending problem, but you don't want to build up that bad will with your community. And although I do think a lot of the hate on the 6-star alters is unwarranted, I do get where people are coming from, that it's basically the rich get richer in terms of operators, as many, if not all, of the 6-star alters so far have been extremely popular characters, or characters that have already had events focused around them getting more content. And if you are someone who likes unpopular operators, you know that this favoritism will never be extended to you. Or maybe it will. Who knows what Hypergriff is thinking. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. I don't think a lot of people are going to really care about this video, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway, just because I want to throw my thoughts on it out into the world. And I don't really want to be a guy who focuses on problems like this, so I'm going to leave it there and go back to just talking about the lore. If you've made it to the end of this video, maybe you'll go check out some of the more lore focused content that is on this channel. With all that being said, I'm going to talk to you next time. Stay safe, be good people. See you later.